Good afternoon, everyone. Weather forecaster Josiah Acheampong here. Just waiting for a couple more people to get in here, and we'll start off in a little bit. Start off looking at the satellite of, the Southern Plains here. We'll begin shortly. All right. So let's get right into it again. My name is Josiah Acheampong, weather forecaster here at Channel 7. We're beginning with taking a look here at our satellite. As you can see there depicted, coming off the Rockies there, we do have a couple thunderstorms beginning to fire up in eastern New Mexico, and those are going to be the culprit and the beginning of what will be a long night ahead of us in terms of both severe weather as well as an increased concern for flooding. Now, let's take a closer look on the ground. What does that look like for us? Now, as we take a look at our sky cam there in Des Moines, we are starting to see some rain develop there off in the distance. And again, these are going to be the same storms that are going to traverse over into the Oklahoma, Texas Panhandles region over the next couple of hours. Now, in terms of our camera there in Bushland, we are starting to see some clouds develop there. There are going to be congested cumulus clouds. A weak attempt, would you say, for storm development? But we're not seeing anything in terms of storms beginning to fire up or anything like that. Just some storms, or rather clouds, trying to develop what could be rain in the future. But for right now, no rain concerns here in the Texas Panhandle region. Now, as we take a look there at our map there, we do have an aerial flood watch that's going to be in effect for both the Oklahoma and Texas Panhandles region, as well as for our eastern New Mexico counties. Now, those are going to be in effect for our eastern New Mexico counties from 6 p.m. tonight until 6 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And then for the Oklahoma Panhandle, as well as for the Texas Panhandle region, that's going to run from 7 p.m. tonight until 1 a.m. tomorrow morning. Now, as we look at some storms firing up, those are going to be the same storms that we were looking at from our satellite there off in eastern New Mexico, coming off the Rockies. You could see a couple strikes of lightning there in the distance, but overall, nothing in terms of severe weather. And again, this is going to be a closer look at those flood watches that we currently have posted for the area. Now let's look at our severe outlook, because we do have a level 2 out of 5 threat for severe weather. Main bullseye is going to be right here over Amarillo, as well as for our eastern New Mexico counties and the surrounding areas, going to be in that highest 2 out of 5 risk with a slight risk for severe weather. Now, what does that mean in terms of threat? Again, the main threat with these storms are going to be flooding, but we do have hail up to a quarter size possible, as well as winds that can gust up to 70 miles an hour. And those are going to be reserved for some of the strongest storms that do end up developing over the next couple of hours. But again, the main threat is going to be the flooding concerns. But let's time all this out. We're going to start off with 4 p.m. today. We're going to run the model. As we get closer to 9 p.m., that's where you can see a complex of storms begin to dive southward from the Oklahoma Panhandles region, moving further southward over the Texas Panhandle. And as we approach midnight, these storms will continue to develop and progress further south. Again, the main threats with these are going to be heavy rain. Now, this could be difficult, especially if you're heading out or anything of that nature. But I do recommend, if you have any outdoor plans, I would put them on rain check or put them on pause and try to hold them off until tomorrow afternoon if you can, because again, the rain can be quite heavy. We do have a severe risk for storms, so I wouldn't recommend heading outdoors. But as we head into tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. or so, we could still have a couple of rain showers lingering in the morning, overcast conditions to begin the day. But as we head into tomorrow afternoon, we do see some clearing begin. We do remain a bit cooler as that cold front has pushed further south. Temperatures may struggle to reach outside of the mid or upper 80s across the area, but overall it's going to be a cooler day compared to what we've been dealing with these last couple of days. But we will be clearing out, and the flood threat does subside get into Saturday afternoon. Now, as we get into Saturday evening, we cool off, temperatures mainly into the 60s. And then as we get into Sunday, we start off clear skies, partly cloudy to begin, but we should see some marginal clearing as the day goes on. Temperatures again remain a bit cooler than what we have been, mainly in the mid 80s as well. Now, in terms of rainfall, you probably want to know how much do we all get? What does this mean for you? Let's take a look in terms of rainfall. The modeling is saying anywhere between a half inch over to an inch of rain. I do think it's not picking up on some of those heavy bands of rain that could set up or those heavier cells that do develop, especially when they train over areas. That's when we can see the highest risk for anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of rain to fall over a small area. That's when we do get those concerns for flooding, especially when we're talking about rain rates anywhere between 2 to 6 inches of an hour. But again, it's not everyone's going to get into that rain, especially if you're in that southeastern portion of the Panhandles region, Childress, Paducah. You may not tap into some of the heaviest rainfall, but it is something to take note of, especially if you are having any evening plans today or any morning plans. You could start off on that damp note as that front continues to shift further south. Now, in terms of our next weather maker, over the next couple of days, we are still in this unsettled pattern as those two areas of high pressure keep us in this omega block pattern that keeps energies of, or possibilities rather, for rain opportunities in the picture. So as you can see here, we have that green area that's going to be where the highest risk for some storm chances or rain chances develop, especially if we have any pieces of energy move through the region. And again, that's going to stick with us at least through mid next week. But overall, it's going to be something that we have to watch. Now, in terms for our temperatures for this evening, again, we're going to cool off, although, again, we will be fairly rainy and damp for this evening. Tomorrow afternoon, highs try to recover as best as they can. If you're not going to be in the mid 80s, you may get stuck in those upper 70s, especially if you're in that northern panhandle region. If you're in Oklahoma panhandles, you might get stuck there at 79 there in Guyman, 76 there in Clayton for eastern New Mexico and Union County. But overall, it's going to be a mild day, but cooler than what we have been overall. And then tomorrow evening, again, we have that marginal clearing, temperatures a bit cooler, but seasonable overall. Now, in terms of our 7 day coming up here, we do have that front coming tonight. Again, that causes the risk for severe weather as well as the flood concerns. We do have the flood watch posted for the area. As we head into the deeper into this weekend, we will have some storms that do remain for tomorrow morning, but we should clear out. Again, Monday looks like the pick of the week overall. A little bit cooler though. We do have the lowest chances for rain on Monday as of now. We'll keep an eye on that. But Tuesday is when we could see a resurgence of rain chances. But overall, we're cooler. We still have rain chances. So definitely something to look out for. But you want to keep it right here on Channel 7. We will be going live starting at 5 p.m. this evening. So definitely something to look out for, especially if you're planning for anything for this evening or for the next couple of hours. You'll see Corbin on air, but I will be with you starting tomorrow. But overall, I hope you all have a great rest of your Friday. Again, try to stay indoors if you can, but stay tuned right here on Channel 7. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Take care.